This is Wild About Utah.
Last week, while walking across the Utah State University campus, I rounded the northeast corner of the University Inn and suddenly found myself face to face with a giant stick figure made of steel tubing. Painted a gleaming white, it looked like an elegant butler standing stiffly at attention. Planted firmly on 3 sturdy legs, its rectangular body soared up 12 feet, and 2 of its outstretched arms seemed to be holding a bowl in one hand and a ball in the other. Then I noticed the interactive display pedestal nearby. I discovered my butler was actually holding a rain gauge and an air temperature sensor. In fact, there were close to 30 sensors attached to the frame. Tapping on a picture of each sensor, I could see the exact measurement it was making. More tapping, and I could look back as far as 500 days. This magnificent machine was recording data so smoothly that I had to laugh when I remembered how in the early days of climate monitoring, it wasn't so easy. In the 1980s, after moving to Cache Valley, I was getting used to the cold temperatures and wondering just how cold could it get. The engineers at Campbell Scientific, including my husband Art, had just developed a new temperature and wind sensor that could record its measurements onto a box. The box would then send the information via a radio signal to a relay station on top of Mount Logan and then on to their base computer in Logan. They installed the sensor at Peter Sinks, near the summit overlooking Bear Lake. Then they sat down in front of the base computer to wait. They watched the temperature drop, -55, -65. Then a tiny gust of air would blow by and the temperature would rise. Finally, they went to bed, but the data logger kept working. In the morning, they looked at the data sheet, and there it was in black and white, -69.3 degrees Fahrenheit. In the early morning, February 1st, 1985, a record was set for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah that still stands today. But my favorite memory from the early days is the farm kid who bought one of the first Campbell Scientific data loggers, the CR10. Art and I were on a road trip, and he realized we were close by. We rang the doorbell. His mother told us to go upstairs. There was the young kid sitting on the bed. The CR10 was on the floor. He showed us how the CR10 was recording the level of oxygen in the water in his nearby catfish pond. When the oxygen level dropped to a dangerous low, the CR10 would turn on a giant egg beater-like machine that would throw the pond water high into the air. When the water fell down, it carried oxygen with it back into the pond. The kid was all smiles. Gone were the days when he had to get up every night at 3 a.m., walk through heavy mud, check his oxygen sensor, and manually turn on the egg beater. The kid pointed to the CR10 on the floor. "Piece of your brain in there?" he asked Art. "Yes," answered Art, "and a piece of my heart." This is Mary Hears, and I'm wild about Utah.